In this WrestleTalk news, the real reason Triple H re-signed numerous WWE stars, why the AEW video game has been delayed, a big AEW botch, and more.
Support WrestleTalk!
First, there was AEW Dynamite. Then there was AEW Dark. Then there was AEW Dark Elevation. Then there was AEW Rampage. And there was AEW Battle of the Belts. Then there was Ring of Honor's streaming service. Now Tony Khan seems set to spread his attention even thinner by debuting his next increasingly low-performing TV program, AEW Collision. Not in North Korea. PW Insider is reporting that AEW filed a trademark on the 15th of February for what looks like a potential new series called AEW Collision, as the paperwork describes it as a continuing program about wrestling. This isn't only striking because AEW arguably has too many weekly formats anyway, with its B-show Rampage suffering significant ratings decline year on year, but also because they've spelled collision wrong. Going by PW Insider's report and the actual trademark filing on the US Patents Office website, Tony Khan is now the proud owner of AEW Collision. Collision, just in case you weren't aware, isn't a word. As a wrestling service announcement, we should always take stories like this with a pinch of salt. We're in a wrestling war right now. And who knows what's really just been made up by Ariel Helwani. But as this is an official document, we can confirm it is legit, as the trademark party listed is All Elite Wrestling, LLC. What makes this odder is how AEW's business partners New Japan ran an event last May in the United States called Capital Collision, spelt correctly. The event included AEW stars like Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. You would hope the new Collision is a joint venture between New Japan and AEW, so you don't annoy NJPW at a time when WWE is lurking in their DMs, more ready to pounce than your best friend Tommy when you and Megan were on a break. My family took you in as a kid, Tommy. We fed you at our dinner table. Why do you want everything that's mine? It caps off what's been a rather embarrassing weekend for the AEW president. Following Ariel Helwani, the famously unbiased journalist who just happens to be very good real-life friends with the CEO of WWE, mocking Tony Khan online, which WWE followed up on by not once, but twice, having subtle jabs at him on their Elimination Chamber premium live event, which you can learn more about watching our news video in the description below. If I was to file for a trademark on what's happening on Triple H's behalf, I would name it WWE Gaslighting. Thankfully, Tony Khan seems set for a big win soon, with their much-delayed video game seemingly nearing release, AEW Fight Forever. Fight Forever got its first teaser trailer at the start of August 2022, and Kenny Omega, who has been heavily involved in the development of the game, stated it was due for a release later that year. But then Brawl Out happened, leading to the suspension of the game's cover star CM Punk. It was speculated this pushed the release back indefinitely, with still no concrete date being announced. According to Omega speaking on Swerve Strickland's Swerve City podcast, he claims the game has been delayed in an effort to get a teen for teen rating. Apparently, the original version was so bloody, players would have been able to make the ring look like a murder scene, aka normal Wednesday night for Jon Moxley. Omega loved that, but it was deemed not age appropriate. Unfortunately, Kenny notes because of that delay, some elements of the game will be a little dated. Not able to include more recent talent signings, but probably, and more positively, avoiding most spelling mistakes. A user on Reddit has posted an alleged photo of the game's display case that their friend was assembling at work. The blurb includes the T rating, along with promoting match types, Casino Battle Royale, Falls Count Anywhere, Unsanctioned Lights Out, and Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch. The first thing I'm gonna do is avenge Eddie Kingston and give the exploding match the finish it deserved. To stay up to date with everything AEW and WWE, make sure to super kick that subscribe button and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos. Of course, another reason the game might have been a bit delayed is the legal backstage situation with CM Punk. He did nothing wrong. But in recent weeks, a Punk AEW return has seemed more and more likely. First, with Dave Meltzer reporting he'll be recovered from injury in a few months, and Punk himself posting about forgiveness on his Instagram. As Luke already covered, Punk has now been spotted at Saturday's New Japan show Battle in the Valley, a cameo-filled crowd that also included Bayley, Naomi, Tamina, and TNA booker Scott D'Amore. One of the people wrestling on the show has now called out Punk directly. The man who originally came up with Punk's finisher Kenta. I heard that my biggest fan in the world came to Arena last night. I hope he enjoyed real go to sleep. Kenta has been trying to build a match with Punk in a battle of the sleepy people for years. Many were there in support of Mercedes Moné, the former Sasha Banks, who wrestled her first match since leaving WWE 9 months ago, where she captured the IWGP Women's Championship from Kairi. But that wasn't all the support she's been getting. In a documentary covering her New Japan debut back at Wrestle Kingdom, Mercedes revealed through tears, "I got a very nice text from Triple H, and still it's crazy that I got an amazing text from William Regal this morning, which is likely because both of them want to steal you back as soon as possible." Since Triple H replaced Vince McMahon as head of WWE Creative in July 2022, he has brought back Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, Emma, Karrion Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, Dakota Kai, Bray Wyatt, Dexter Lumis, Emma, Mia Yim, Top Dollar, Ashanti Adonis, Tegan Nox, Sarah Logan, Emma, Braun Strowman and B-Fab. It's like a reverse of one of WWE's biannual mass firings. So many, you might not even have realised I just said Emma's name 3 times. Apart from Wyatt, and even he's gone a bit off the boil over the last month, none of these have made a difference in the ratings, and most have been positioned as mid-card Jetsam with no WrestleMania direction. So it was no surprise when WrestleVotes tweeted back in December that these wrestlers were seen to have underperformed backstage and have severely underwhelmed Triple H and others since returning to the company. Fightful Select, however, is now reporting that isn't the case. Fightful claims the real reason these wrestlers were rehired wasn't to boost the ratings and get pushed to the main event, rather it was to fix what Triple H referred to as the depth issue, which he saw as one of the most pressing problems for Raw and SmackDown when he took over. The wave of rehirings was to bolster the under and mid card, and anyway, Fightful's source said even if Triple H did believe his rehires have been disappointing, they wouldn't expect him to say that out loud, which is refreshingly lovely, as Vince McMahon would be pretty explicit about giving up on your hashtag 3-week push. Triple H isn't done there though. Fightful adds that WWE is still interested in bringing in the Authors of Pain, one of Triple H's favourite tag teams from his NXT run. They note Akam and Razor are very loyal to their previous manager, Paul Ellering, and he is heading up negotiating their deal with WWE, heavily implying they'll all return as an act together. Ellering would be a fantastic mind and agent to have behind the scenes as well as in front. Bodyslam.net are also reporting WWE have already signed Colby Corino, the son of NXT trainer Steve Corino, following a tryout in January. He could be reporting to NXT as soon as March. Colby's NWA contract expired at the end of 2022 and he has now finished all his remaining independent dates. But the weekend's biggest free agent development is with Jay White, who lost his Loser Leaves All of New Japan match against Eddie Kingston on Saturday's Battle in the Valley show. While Tony Khan said in a recent interview he'd love to have him here working with us following Jay leaving Japan, according to Dave Meltzer, WWE is certainly the favourite to sign him. While Meltzer's sources haven't confirmed that to him, he points out that White wouldn't have to do a Loser Leaves New Japan for Good stipulation if he was going to AEW, because the two promotions already have a working relationship, because in those two companies, stipulations actually matter. Talking of defections segue, boxing legend Mike Tyson has told The Undertaker on his Hot Boxing YouTube show that he much prefers WWE over AEW. A WWE Hall of Famer, Tyson has appeared for WWE plenty of times over the last few decades, arguably triggering the Attitude Era into overdrive with his WrestleMania angle with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Ever since the launch of AEW, he's been All Elite, appearing 5 times for the promotion since 2020, most recently doing a whole episode of guest commentary on the November 4th episode of Rampage. But now he's admitted, Tony Khan and those guys wanted to put me on the show and stuff before, but I don't care if they got more money. If Vince puts me on the show, I'd rather go there, even though AEW pay more money. He's not even talking about everyone liking Triple H now. He just said Vince. He probably thinks Vince is still in charge, because maybe probably he really is. Watch on now to find out how WWE are trying to gaslight Tony Khan, and it's working.
In this WrestleTalk news, WWE fire back at AEW, CM Punk to New Japan. This most recent show confirmed, Jay White's potential WWE future, Elimination Chamber backstage notes, and more.